Is forever just a fantasy? Or is true companionship found within? Welcome to Bookish Mind, Season 06, Episode 04, where we delve into Chapter 4, The Love for Solitude, of Renuka Gavrani's insightful book, The Art of Being Alone. Our mission for this deep dive is to really explore the profound insights Gavrani offers here, especially how she challenges us to shift our perspective away from that discomfort of loneliness towards discovering a deep, fulfilling connection with ourselves. We're going to unpack her personal journey and hopefully re-examine some of our own, deeply ingrained beliefs about relationships and what true independence really means.
Yeah, and to set the stage for this, the chapter kicks off with a really powerful quote from Wayne W. Dyer. He says, "You cannot be lonely if you like the person you're alone with." But what's great is Gavrani immediately says she's not going to force this idea on you. Instead, she wants to guide you, help you understand it for yourself. This whole chapter, and I think our discussion today, really gets into why building self-reliance isn't some heavy burden. It's actually, a path to liberation.
That's a fascinating starting point. And she dives right into what she sees as a fundamental problem for so many of us.
Yeah.
This kind of constant looking for others to hold our hands and show us the path. She argues that, while we might want that guidance, we actually need to walk alone to reach our true goals.
Yeah.
Because everyone's ultimate destination is just
Yeah.
different. It's pretty bold, isn't it?
It is bold, and she really drives it home with this compelling analogy. She says, look, you'll meet all sorts of people on your journey, good ones, bad ones, whatever. But inevitably, they're going to diverge. They have to follow their own paths. And this forces a huge choice on you. Do you just stay put, crying and screaming because people left, or do you keep walking, moving towards your own dream destination? Either way, you are ultimately alone at that point. But your choice completely changes the experience, right? Is it helplessness, or is it enjoying the journey?
Right.
So the real question for us, for you listening, is how do we internalize that reality? The fact that paths diverge. How do we do that without feeling completely defeated? How do we shift that inside?
That's the million-dollar question, yeah. And Gavrani gives us a really powerful way in by making it incredibly personal. She shares this very candid story from her own life. She talks about how after 5th grade, she was constantly switching schools, never in one place more than 2 years. And as an introverted kid, lacking confidence, making friends was already hard work. Then, just when she'd find someone close, poof, start all over again.
Oh, that's rough. It's a story I think a lot of people can connect with, even if the details are different,
Yeah.
that feeling of instability. And she gives specific examples too. Leaving a close high school friend because of a school change. Then after +2, leaving another close friend to move for college. These keep happening, these separations. It really hammers home her point about how temporary external connections can often be.
And then there's college. She meets someone she calls her then best friend. They were roommates, inseparable for 4 or 5 months. Professors knew them together. She thought, okay, this is it, the best friend. But then she gets sick, goes home for about 15 days, comes back, and finds she's been, in her words, replaced. Just like that.
Wow.
She actually confronts her friend about it really bravely. But the friend just chooses the new friends. And this left Gavrani completely alone for 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
Properly alone.
That's intense. And what's so interesting is how that really personal story taps into such a universal experience. Loss, shifting relationships, feeling left out. But then she talks about finding a new girl gang after that isolation. And through them, realizing something powerful. Women uplift each other. But then, of course, college ends. Physical distance comes back into play. More friends left behind. And this whole sequence seems to lead her straight to questioning that big one. The forever myth, the one we're all sort of sold.
That forever myth, it is everywhere. You hear it from social media gurus, pop culture, distance can't break true friendship, right? And Gavrani admits, yeah, she believed it too initially. She describes those first few months after college, they were great. Gossiping, remembering stuff, sharing updates.
The usual post-college thing.
Exactly. But then, slowly, everyone just got busy. Conversations faded. Their lives, jobs, surroundings, they just went in different directions. Priorities shifted. It happens.
And this is exactly where she makes that really key distinction between feeling lonely and being alone. It's crucial. She absolutely doesn't deny the pain of loneliness. She says it hits hard when you miss people who felt like home. You miss their jokes, their touch, their encouragement, that hidden care they showed. Loneliness is that ache, that missing of absent connections. But being alone for her is different. It's an active choice. It can be peaceful, even joyful. It's not a void.
Okay, so it's a different state entirely.
Right. So the question becomes, for you listening, how do you navigate that real feeling of loss, that ache of missing people, when even good people inevitably drift away?
And she gets really insightful here. She points out how, quote, great web series and movies on friendship and romance basically manipulate us. They feed us this idea that there is something called forever. So when friends or partners leave, or maybe just fade a bit, we're conditioned to feel betrayed, lonely, incomplete. It's almost like we've been programmed, hasn't it, to expect people to be available 24/7. Like there's some kind of, I don't know, emotional ambulance service.
Totally, like an ambulance. And if you connect that to the bigger picture, it's about facing up to a harsh truth of adulthood that, yeah, fiction tends to ignore. People do have their own careers, their families, their goals. And honestly, sometimes they just need, as she puts it, a few breaths to inhale in silence. Gavrani says flat out, this is how things are going to be for the rest of our lives. It's the bargain, she calls it, of making a career and living your dreams.
Yeah.
It's a reality that shows, like Friends, which we love, often skip over, right? Where they just seem to always be hanging out at the coffee shop, no problem.
Yeah, the practicalities just vanish.
Exactly. So her point really challenges those deep societal scripts we've absorbed about these everlasting bonds.
So what's the takeaway then? What does she suggest we do?
She urges us to make a new belief, a new agreement with ourselves. And that agreement is, you cannot expect people to stay forever.
Right.
And crucially, it's not because they're bad people or they're betraying you. It's just they have their own lives to manage. It's simply part of growing up.
Right. And she notes that forever, for our generation, often just means, following each other on social media, maybe an occasional comment, keeping people in your memory lane. That's kind of what it boils down to practically. Which then begs the question, what happens if you expect more than that? More than those, like, digital breadcrumbs?
Fair answer.
Clear and direct. You're just setting yourself up to get hurt.
Yeah.
It's about matching your expectations to reality, not clinging to some fictional ideal. Which leads to this really powerful, maybe even stark truth she delivers. I found this really hit home. You are on your own now. Except for you, no one is going to stay by your side forever. People cannot babysit you forever. It sounds harsh, maybe, at first read. But she intends it as totally empowering.
Absolutely empowering. It's not meant to be bleak. It's about reclaiming your agency. When you let go of that expectation of constant external support, you find this inner resilience. Challenges become opportunities. The focus shifts back entirely to you, which is where it needs to be.
Okay, so it's about strengthening the core.
Exactly. The key idea is about creating enough space in your own heart for yourself. The goal she lays out is that being with yourself feels safe and loved. And then being with other people feels like a genuine bonus. Not some quick fix, not an escape from yourself. It changes the whole dynamic of relationships.
From need to added joy.
Precisely.
So, if you choose to keep walking your path with this new perspective, Gavrani says, make one more big choice. Choose to love the person you're with. Yourself.
Yeah.
When you genuinely have that strong self-connection, that self-love, the whole journey itself becomes, as she puts it, a treat.
And what's so freeing about that is the simplicity.
Yeah.
The clarity. Being just with yourself means dealing with just one mind, one voice, one type of opinion and perception.
Yeah.
You let go of that huge burden of becoming who you are, not just to please people you don't like or simply to fit in or have them hold your hand forever.
Right.
It makes you wonder, doesn't it? How much energy do you, listening right now, spend trying to manage external relationships or conform? And what amazing new joys might open up if you redirected even some of that energy inwards.
Exactly. He says, when you truly know you can walk alone just fine, you become astonished to experience such simple joys of life that your soul enjoys, like really simple things. Joys that maybe got drowned out before by all the external noise, the chase for validation. And she's careful to clarify, this isn't about pushing people away. Not at all. She says finding people who truly love you is hard. It's valuable. It's more about not forgetting yourself in the noise of the world. It's like profound self-preservation. Nurturing yourself first.
Ultimately, yeah. It's about reframing those times when you feel lonely, seeing them not as a curse, but as solitude. Seeing solitude as a privilege, a sacred space for real personal growth. Turning that feeling of emptiness into fertile ground for self-discovery. It's about being genuinely ready to walk with yourself towards your dreams, knowing that you are your most constant, reliable, and actually cherished companion.
So we've taken quite a journey ourselves here, through Renuka Gavrani's Chapter 4, The Love for Solitude. We've moved from that initial, maybe uncomfortable idea of being alone to understanding it as necessary, even enriching. We've seen how she really pushes back against those ingrained beliefs about forever and relying on others, urging us to find fulfillment from within.
And connecting it to the bigger picture, what this chapter really does is nudge us to fundamentally reevaluate our relationship with ourselves. Put that first. And from that stronger internal place, then we engage with others. It's not about ditching companionship at all. It's about making sure our well being isn't totally dependent on external factors. That makes our connections more real, more authentic, less about filling some kind of void.
So, what does this all mean for you as you're listening and reflecting on your own connections, your own expectations? Maybe consider this. How might fully embracing that idea, maybe initially jarring that you are on your own now, how might that paradoxically make your relationships with other people even richer, more authentic, transforming them from something you feel you desperately need into a genuine, beautiful bonus in a life that's already full? Something to think about.